Hey YouTube, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Check this out. That's the new ISDT ESC, the ESC70 from ISDT, a company we normally only know from super nice chargers and charging supply stuff. And that's a brand new brushed ESC for crawlers, but also for on-road cars and boats, ground ESC. And you can connect it via Bluetooth to a smartphone app and program it that way. So everything sounds super, super, super nice, awesome. The price is awesome too. And I thought, wow, what a super cool ESC. And that's a further super cheap ESC that's programmable, like the awesome Hobbywing 1080 or the Charisma ARC2 I showed you in a detailed video some time ago, or the super cheap China ESC, the clone Hobbywing 1080, what's not a clone. And the price of this ESC is really awesome. And I had big hopes, but then I received my ESC from Banggood and I found that there are so many software or firmware bugs. Awful. I was so angry. I wanted to make a really bad review of this ESC, but now I played around some days with it and I think I checked how it works. It's not super easy, and I hope ISDT will bring a new firmware update soon to remove all these bugs. And if this ESC would work as it should, then it would be really, really awesome. So my review here is now for the version 1.004. That's probably the hardware version, BL1004, and app, probably the app version 1.0.0.9. And this review is made in early January 2022. So if you see this video later, hopefully ISDT has solved all those problems, because it's quite ridiculous. But first things first, in the promotion videos, ISDT shows us how easy this ESC is programmable and how difficult it is to program a Hobbywing 1080. Don't believe this, please. I show you something. I have a Hobbywing 1080 here, and ISDT, please, if you watched this video, check this out. Now I will change a parameter. I connect the program card, switch on the ESC. I will change the BSC voltage, go to 14. Now it's on high voltage. I go to 1. That's it. Gone. Done. Works. In this time, my ISDT ESC70 even didn't connect to the Bluetooth app. So it's absolutely ridiculous. They want to blame the Hobbywing 1080. That's an absolutely awesome ESC. The ESC70 from ISDT, I got mine from Banggood. And you also can get it from Amazon now. For awesome prices, I paid less than 23 euros, including shipment and taxes. I used some codes, promotion codes and allowances. And on Amazon in Germany, you get it for 25 euros, free shipping, free prime shipping. And those two seem to be a little bit different versions. So a lot of buddies from the German forum did order this ESC. It was available some weeks ago, and now most of them received it from Banggood and also from Amazon. And some reported, who bought it from Amazon and from Banggood, that the box of the ESC from Amazon is a little bit different than the box of the ESC from Banggood. And furthermore, the ESC from Amazon does not come with plugs and does come with a servo wire, 2 female servo wires. On Banggood you can choose. I of course chose the version without plugs, soldered quick and dirty some XT60 and 4mm plugs for the test to the ESC, and take care. You will not get anything but the box, the manual, and this on-off switch, Bluetooth dongle, and the ESC. You will not get a servo wire to connect it to your receiver, and some people had troubles because they don't have such a servo wire at home, and so they cannot use their ESC70 now. That's quite strange, and there are quite strange pictures on Amazon. Check those pictures out. I don't know. They show a white wire here in center position. The Amazon ESC70 does not have this wire. This seems to be a rendering. Totally stupid. Don't know why ISDT, who made those pictures, crazy. So that's it. Strange, different, but both seem to have the same troubles. The ESC70 should go up to 70 amps, what's more than enough, and have a BSC with 3 amps, and you can adjust the BSC voltage from 5 to 7.5 volt via Bluetooth app in 0.1 volt steps. That's super nice. It does come with 16 gauge wires, so that's quite thin for such an ESC, while most other ESCs, the Hobbywing 1080 does come with 14 gauge wires, others do come even with 12, but for rock rollers that's for sure sufficient. And size-wise, it's about the same size as the Hobbywing 1080. The Hobbywing 1080 is slightly smaller, you can see this here, so maybe 1 millimeter wider, the ISDT ESC, and 1 to 2 millimeters longer, and the height is about the same, nearly exactly the same. The upper part of the ISDT ESC70, that's made out of metal, and the lower part is plastic. Seems to be glued, sealed, it's waterproof. And before you will use it, you will have to download the ISDT app from Google Play Store or whatever. It's called ISDT Go. Download works flawlessly. So that's the only thing that I didn't have any troubles with. And then you have to, of course, pair it to your app. You have to turn on Bluetooth. If you do not turn on Bluetooth, the first time you want to start the app, it tells you please turn on Bluetooth. If you have the app already installed on your tablet, cell phone, and don't have turned on Bluetooth, you will see the app won't start. So you will have to turn on Bluetooth, and then the app will start. I did already connect my ESC70 to the app, of course. I even renamed it, but if you connect it to your app for the first time, check it out. Connect it to a battery 2 or 3S, and then press this button, white, green, till it starts to blink blue. And then go to scan Bluetooth devices. You will see the name will be the same, BR360, and switch the ESC on off if it doesn't really pair immediately. Some did have problems. I think I had to switch it on off, but then pairing worked quite flawlessly. Then connect your ESC to a receiver. Here on the ESC there's not written which of the two ports is for the on-off plug and Bluetooth dongle and which one is for the wire to the receiver. You will find this in the manual. The manual is quite okay, but it's not top. There are many questions after reading the manual, but the right port here is to connect the ESC to your receiver. I will do this here now, and I will also connect it to motor to show you some programming. So now I switch on my radio. I will show this to you now with my FlySky Nova. And now check this. I will switch on the ESC. Let's try it now. Now it turns blue and the ESC is connected. What you see here is super nice. You can see the voltage of the LiPo, so you can simply check your LiPo voltage in the field without using a voltage checker and opening the car. Now this 2S LiPo does have 8.1 volts. You can see the temperature probably of the ESC, capacity of the battery and throttle. First thing, after you connected the ESC and you have still factory settings on the app, I reset mine now to factory settings. You will see that there is throttle uncalibrated. First you will have to calibrate your throttle, and that's remote calibration. It wants you, I do it now with my FlySky Nova here, to set the trigger in neutral position. Calibration successfully. Next. Now it wants you to give full throttle. Calibration successfully. Next. Now it wants you to go full negative. Calibration successfully. You can adjust the neutral range. I let it at stock and OK. And now it's calibrated. And you see it does not work. If you go back, motor is disconnected for security reasons, and now it should work again. And you see I do have not very nice settings now, and I do have wrong motor direction. I could change the, I did disconnect it now, but it should reconnect. Come on, reconnect. Okay, now it's on Bluetooth, and now it's reconnected, and I have the motor rotation forward. I go to primary settings, go to motor rotation reverse. Okay, and what I found, to click this doesn't really store the stuff. Go backwards, and then it should be stored, and now forward should be forward and reverse should be reversed. What's strange, some people reported they had problems with their calibration to different radios. So a buddy of the forum reported if he was going very slowly reverse, the car didn't stop. I don't have a FlySky GT5, that's where he had the problems with, but they also reported that it didn't work with the turbo racing with the LCD radio P52 or P32, and so I checked all the radios I have. So I checked it with the turbo racing radio. I checked all the car truck radios I have with the normal turbo racing receiver, and it works flawlessly. I can show you this. So you see, now I have connected it to the turbo racing radio. No problems at all. Some people or a buddy reported that the car wouldn't run smoothly, but I do not have this problem. And calibration works flawlessly too. So here's the app. It's connected. Remote calibration. It wants me to go to center position. I did. Calibration successfully. It wants me to give full throttle with the turbo racing. Calibration successfully. Next. wants me to go full reverse. Calibration successfully. Next. Neutral range, that's okay. So I did not have any problems. I have to go back to make it vertic again. You see, now motor will work again. It also works with the turbo racing. I don't have a FlySky GT5 for testing, where people had the problems with the reverse, but I tested all truck car radios I do have. So I tested my awesome 8-channel FlySky GT3C with a receiver, no problems. And I also tested a Tombo RC radio with receiver, also no problems. And finally, I even tested it with a Axial SCX24 micro with my Betty, and it does also work with this radio and with the SCX24 receiver ESC unit, so that's quite awesome. It's of course much too large for a micro, but maybe if you could decase it. This ESC does have awesome possibilities for adjustments. It does have a lot of bugs. It doesn't really work probably now, the app, but they will hopefully solve this. And if so, after decasing, this could be a super cheap option for a brushed microcrawler to 23 euros. That's 25 euros less than 30 US dollars. But now let's go back to my FlySky Noble. And now let's see how programming works. You have to press the ESC symbol, BR360. You can rename it. I renamed mine to ESC71 to connect to the app. And if you happen to press one of the ads here, your cell phone will open a browser. That's quite annoying. And go to the ISDT side. You see Bluetooth. Now you are on the first side where you see battery, voltage, quite nice. Temperature, I don't know. Temperature of the ESC or of the motor, and capacity of the battery, that's probably only calculated by the voltage. You see here, I do already have problems again. It's absolutely not flawlessly, this app. You see, it's loading. That's on Bluetooth mode. Don't know what the problem is now. No, it's not connected. It disconnected itself. Let's connect it again. It goes from green to hopefully blue. I swear a lot already when using this app, and there are some functions, they are so crazy, mainly the track brake functions. Don't know what ISDT thought of this and why they did do it that way. So the app seems not to connect again. That happens quite regularly, so let's close it and open the app again and connect it again. The ESC should turn blue. Now it turns blue. Come on. Yes, and now it's ready and connected. You also see the throttle input. You see it here on the outer circle, and you see the percentage. And if you want to program the ESC, press this sign, and then you have mode selection. That's the first thing. And normally you will get, I guess, on-road. You can choose rock crawler, what most of us probably wanted to use. You see now, I chose rock crawler, but then automatically the PWM frequency is set to 4 kilohertz, and that's of course awful. I hope you can hear. The ESC is super noisy. So check it out. I hate this if the ESC is that noisy, and I want to set all my ESCs, if possible, to 16 kilohertz. 16 kilohertz PWM frequency, that's about the frequency adult men are not able to hear anymore. Your dog will still hear it, probably your children too. And if you want to go to advanced settings and change the PWM frequency from 4 kilohertz to 16 kilohertz, you will see sending setup parameters. Please do it. It did mostly work nicely. Yes, no, parameter setting failed. What's the problem now again? It's quite an annoying app. Still PWM frequency 4 kilohertz. Let's change it to 16 kilohertz. Sending setup parameters. No, it doesn't seem to want to do it. This, no. Parameter settings failed. That's awful, honestly. I close the app, open it again. Connect the receiver again. The receiver, the ESC again. Turns blue, everything fine. Go to settings, mode selection, rock crawler still, and primary settings, running mode, forward, reverse, that's rock crawler, battery type LiPo. You can choose LiPo, nickel metal hydride, or high voltage LiPo. Highlighted at LiPo, you can choose the cell count from 2 or 3S. I don't know if it will check it automatically. We can adjust the cutoff voltage. It's 6 volts, factory settings, quite low, but it's okay. And you can adjust the BEC voltage. That's quite nice. I will check this with you by checking if this works. You can adjust it in 0.1 volt steps from 7.5 volt to 5 volts. Factory setting is 5 volt, and motor direction I changed it to reverse for this car and this motor. Now parameter setting change succeeded, and forward reverse. What's the rock crawler mode? 4 kilohertz. I don't want this, it's super loud, but it's impossible to change it in those simple settings. So you see I have 4 kilohertz here and change it to 16 kilohertz. Now succeeded. Now I do have 16 kilohertz, what I want, and I do have a silent ESC. You see no annoying noise anymore, or you hear no annoying noise anymore, but the mode selection has changed automatically. Now it's professional user. So you can only change the PWM settings if you choose professional user and not rock crawler. If you parameter setting failed, thank you. If you choose rock crawler, disconnect it again. So this did work much better the last days I played around. So I guess I have to connect it again to the ESC, the app. And you see already what's the annoying point here. No. Seems not to work. So this app is quite a pain. Let's close it again. Open it again. Connect again. Come on. Now it's connected again. and you see now I have mode selection on road, nobody knows why. On road, if I go to rock crawler, succeeded, now I'm in rock crawler mode, PWM frequency will automatically jump to 4 kHz. And if I go to the advanced settings and change the 4 kHz to silent 16 kHz, succeeded this time, you see that the primary settings, come on, are professional user. So that's quite strange. And in professional user, you will have then to change from forward and reverse mode. You have to choose forward and reverse mode. Running mode, forward and reverse, you choose forward reverse with brake, what's probably on road, forward with brake probably both, and forward and reverse what's the crawler mode. Now everything should work again. Okay. And in the advanced settings, you also can change braking force. It does have an active drag brake you can enable and an active brake you can enable, but you cannot enable this active drag brake in crawler mode and in forward reverse mode. You have to choose forward brake reverse, and that's on-road mode, but who in on-road mode will need a drag brake? I will show this to you later when I will show it to you in the truck on an incline. But first let's check the further possibilities to adjust in this ESC. Those are the others. You can rename your ESC. You see I gave this ESC ESC71 settings, succeeded. You can adjust throttle curve. That's super nice, and I will show this to you later on an SCX24. That's the absolutely best thing of this ESC and of this app, I guess. I love it. You can adjust the brake curve. Didn't play around a lot with it so far. You can adjust and change the start music. What's only a gadget and probably nobody needs. And you can also adjust the volume. So not really important. And you will find the system information here. What I did already show you in the beginning of this video. I do have the latest firmware now in the beginning of January 2022. And you can restore to factory settings. So if you want to go back to factory settings, you can do this here too. So now let's check the BEC. Let's check if changing the voltage works. And let's check how strong the BEC is. Then let's check this awesome other settings, throttle curve and brake curve. And in the end, I will check those advanced settings. Therefore, I will drive the car on an incline and check all this with drag brake, active drag brake. And that's the most crazy thing of this app. And I guess there are some mistakes in programming by ISDT. So now let's check the BEC voltage. What's quite annoying, if you switch the ESC off and then switch it on again, you are mostly not able to connect it to the app again. You have to close the app and restart it again, and then it works. You see that's on primary settings and BEC voltage, and now it's 5 volts. I connected the ESC in parallel to this voltmeter. I hope you can see it, 5.0 volts, so that's quite okay. Not super exact. And now let's change to whatever. Let's go to 5.8 volts. 5.8 volts, okay. Successful. 5.74 volts. What's the maximum? High voltage. 7.5 volts. succeeded, and you see 7.51 volts, so that's quite nice and works well, and of course it can help you choosing the right voltage to your gear. And now I will go back to 6 volts and make a BSC test as I did it in my servo tests. So I selected 6 volts now. Please succeed. Yes, succeeded. And you see 5.96 volt. So the adjustment of the BSC voltage works quite awesome. And now let's see how strong this BSC is. So now I connected the ESC70 to my servo test setup. I did disconnect the motor because if the ESC is not connected to a receiver and to the radio, the motors will make alarm sound, and that's quite annoying. So I connected the ESC to this servo tester, and here I have 2 wires in to check the amperage. You can see this here. I have my scale, that's not important, and that's a SPT 25 kilogram servo, which is quite power hungry. Through in my servo tests, I guess 3.5 amps and 18-19 kilogram only. And here you have 2 LEDs, what's quite nice, because if the LEDs get weaker, you see the BSC is not strong enough, doesn't provide enough power. And now let's check this. The servo pulls 16 kilogram, 3.1 amp. It's not as strong as last year anymore, it seems. 16 kilogram, but 3.3 amps. And what's super nice, see full power, but the LEDs do not get weaker. So the BSC seems to be quite strong in many BSCs in my servo tests. I also tested the BSCs of several ESCs already. The LED got weak, so quite a nice BSC. Should provide 3 amps and did provide 3 amps. Thumbs up for this. And now let's check this awesome throttle curve I like so much. For this, because you can see it so nicely, I connected the ESC70 quick and dirty test setup simply to my SCX24 Betty. So here on channel 2 and motor and power delivered by the ESC70 now. It works. You see wrong motor direction, and of course I have to calibrate it first, and I show you that this works too. Remote calibration. It wants me to go in neutral position now. Please work. Yes, successful. Now it wants me to go full forward. Successful. And now it wants me to go full reverse. Successful. Next. Okay. Successful. And now it works again. And now you see it's still in reverse direction, what's quite strange, because I showed the forward and reverse in correct position, and now I go to forward and hope that's okay now. Go back, red, and now it should work. Yes, it does. The SCX24 on high speed, and it's connected to the ESC70. You see also all those functions, throttle, voltage of course work. And now let's check the awesome function of the throttle curve. You see now I do have straight throttle curve. It will not work now. If you are in the menu, there is security settings, motor won't work. So go back. Now the motor works, and check my index finger. I try to drive as slow as possible. It works nice and well and super slow, no noise at all. I'm on 16 kilohertz WPM frequency. But now let's adjust this throttle curve. And that's super nice. It's like an expo curve. Check this out. Now it should be starting even smoother. I didn't change anything in reverse. Successful. And now motor should work again. And now check my index finger. Check this, you can drive super slow now. Super slow. It's super nice. So this throttle curve is really super nice. In reverse I didn't change anything. It starts much faster than in forward direction now. But in reverse you do have, in contrary to the Furitech ESCs with brushed motors, still full throttle response. So I really love this function, not only for an SCX24, of course for every crawler, because you can adjust the startup behavior to super smooth. But what I did already find, if you adjust it to extreme values, this will not work. So check this out. Now I would have a flat and the throttle should start very late. Throttle trigger on nearly 70%. But if I want to set it up that way, failed. Did you see this? Failed. So you are not able to set it up that way. And what's another bug of the app? If I wanna go back to those nice settings, now it succeeded again. I had many times the problem that it didn't work anymore and that it have to shut down the app. And now let's also adjust the reverse throttle curve. Succeeded. And now it works again, and now I do have really super smooth startup behavior. In forward and reverse direction. That's an awesome function, really. Of course you have punch still, and if you go back to a straight throttle curve, you can simply click the X and the throttle curve is again normal 45 degrees. Succeeded. Motor will work now. It will start up sooner, but still super nice and super responsible throttle behavior at low speed. Even for climbing it's even better that way, so I really love this. And then there's also a brake curve, but I don't really know for what this brake curve in crawler mode is. Oh, throttle curve, brake curve. Okay, you seem not to be able to adjust it. Probably you're only able to adjust the brake curve if you set the settings from forward and reverse to forward, reverse with brake. Let's check this out now. Succeeded. Works. So now I have forward, reverse with brake. You see I can't go directly. I have to wait, what's quite annoying. But let's see if it's possible to change this brake curve now. No. So this seems not to work. Maybe only if you set the advanced settings, drag brake. active brake enabled. So enabled this, succeeded. And now let's try it again. Brake curve. No, still does not work. So that's quite strange. Brake curve. Did I find something in the manual about brake curve? I will check this again, but first. No, drag brake is disabled. Why is drag brake disabled now? I want to enable it. Succeeded. Okay. And now it's again disabled. This software does have so many bugs. That's unbelievable. So I will enable drag brake level again. Now that's only possible in the settings forward brake reverse, not in forward reverse crawler mode. What's totally crazy. We will see this later on the large truck. So active drag brake enabled. It's still enabled. Okay, now it should work, and let's see in the advanced settings, it's disabled again. So what's this? I want to enable this. Enable it. Succeeded. Now I disconnected the app again. Unfortunately, but it works again. It did connect again. And let's see. Now I do have the drag brake, active drag brake enabled. So let's check now if this brake curve now, okay. Now drag brake is enabled, active drag brake, and you should be able to adjust this brake curve. Okay, okay. Okay, and now I'm in forward brake reverse, so I can't go directly from forward to reverse. And here I can adjust the brake level now too. That's quite crazy. And yeah, let's check this drag brake stuff with the large truck, and therefore I will change to a incline to see how the drag brake works and how those settings work. So if we talk about drag brake, we have to think what's drag brake and what's active drag brake. The normal drag brake, the natural drag brake of the motor, is simply a shortcut of the motor. So that's the maximum drag brake a motor can provide. And this brushed motor is a 5-slot Holmes Hobbies motor. It doesn't have a lot of drag brake. Three-slot motors do have stronger drag brakes, and I shortcutted the motor now. And now check what's the maximum natural drag brake this motor and this truck, it's a super light truck without body, do have. So you see, it's strong enough to stop this rather light chassis. So it's able to stop this, and that's the maximum the motor can provide. And now let's check how this works in the truck connected to the ESC and to the receiver. So now the truck is set up, connected to the ESC and receiver with my FlySky Noble. And what you can see here, I have professional user now. I set to forward and reverse mode, what's crawler mode, and I set to 16 kilohertz, and I disabled active drag brake and active brake, because according to the manual you can only use this when using the forward brake reverse mode, what's not crawler mode. So you cannot activate drag brake if you use the crawler mode. And now let's check how the truck and the drag brake works that way. So that's maximum drag brake now. Rolls down slowly. And now in reverse direction. Same thing, rolls down slowly. So that's the maximum drag brake in forward reverse mode. Even less than the natural drag brake of the motor I showed you before. And the manual says it's not allowed. You cannot use this active drag brake in the advanced settings during forward reverse. Now let's check what happens. I enable the active drag brake now and set it to the only very low 0.3. Setting parameters, please work. It failed. Okay, the ESC disconnected again. That's super annoying. Okay, now it's connected again. Still forward reverse. And let's enable the drag brake level again to level 3. And now succeeded. And now active drag brake in forward reverse mode, what shouldn't work according to the manual, but very low. It seems to work a little bit, but can you hear it? The motor makes a noise. So see what's happened if we go to a higher level. And now I go to level 10. Succeeded. And now it should work again. Can you hear this? And super noisy. It stops, but it's super noisy. And check this out. On level 10. And now let's check what happens on level 20. App disconnected again. Now it's connected again. And active drag brake still 10. And now let's see what happens if we go to maximum. Succeeded. And now it should work. And now I do not give any input. Check this out. Super noisy. Even the drive shafts are shivering. So as the manual says, it's not possible to use drag brake in crawler mode. How stupid is this? It's crawling without any throttle input. And I tried to disable this again. I was not able to do this before. Now it's disabled again. And now I succeeded this time. That's good. And now it works normally. As before, forward reverse No active drag brake in crawler mode. And according to the manual, you can activate active drag brake and this drag brake level only in mode forward, reverse with brake. What's totally stupid, because that's not crawler mode. Succeeded. So I'm now in forward reverse with brakes, so I can't go directly, you see, I can't go directly from forward to reverse. But what happens, I don't have activated the drag brake now, and the truck rolls down. Let's try again. Forward reverse with brake, rolls down as there wouldn't be any brake. And now let's check this. Forward reverse with brake, not primary, sorry. Advanced settings. And now let's activate drag brake. Let's go to a medium level. But how would you need 10? How would you need drag brake in forward brake reverse mode? Setting parameters succeeded. And that's it. So now we have forward reverse with brake with active drag brake. Active drag brake should help you keep your speed in an incline or if you're going down. But it should also stop the truck. But check this out. I don't know what this active drag brake is. If I go down slowly, it does not help me. So if I go down slowly, it does not help me, it doesn't brake at all. And if I stop, it doesn't brake at all. So I reconnected again. Took some time, didn't show this on video. And now let's check what happens if we go to active drag brake maximum. What's 20? Succeeded. And truck should work. Does not stop at all. I'm not sure if it helps me climbing. No. That's the slowest speed I can go. And if I go down very slow, it does not help at all. So this active drag brake is a totally failure. Nobody needs a drag brake in forward brake reverse mode, what's normally on-road mode. You need it in crawler mode, forward reverse, but additionally it doesn't work. And now let's check active brake. Let's disable active drag brake. No, let's enable both active drag brake maximum and active brake enabled too. So now I have active brake enabled and active drag brake maximum, and the truck should work again. And no brake at all. And it does also not have, it seems to try to help me when going down. Yes, it slows it down. That's, if I go down slowly, the motor, let's try this again. So I go forward, let it roll, and now I go in reverse direction and it slows. So it really does help to go slower down. Now let's try to do this in reverse. So I go up reverse and go down very slow. It's unbelievable. You cannot go directly from forward to reverse, so you are not used to this in crawling. I'm up, let it roll, and maybe it stops the truck a little bit when going down. So full active drag brake and full brake in forward brake reverse mode. What a crazy thing. Nobody needs this. I guess that's a totally misprogramming from ISDT. You need active drag brake, of course, in crawler mode and not in forward brake reverse mode. There are two further values you can adjust: starting force and braking force in the advanced settings. I didn't play around a lot with those. Starting force is factory settings 3. You can give more or less. And braking force is also set to 3. Maximum is 10 and minimum is 1. So starting force will make it more jumpy or not. I don't know how this interacts with the awesome throttle curve. And now that's of course the end of this quite detailed and long review. And what should we say about this new ISDT ESC70 ESC? I think they have released it much too early. There are so many bugs in the app, and the app disconnects and saving values doesn't work always. However, there are so many options, and if all this should work, this would be an awesome ESC. Mainly also thinking of the price of about 25 bucks. That's really awesome. And throttle curve is awesome, and checking the battery lipo voltage with the app is an awesome function, can also help you in the field. So it would be awesome if it would work, but it doesn't work. And I hope ISDT will solve all these problems with new firmware releases. They have to do this. And maybe somebody should tell ISDT people, in crawler mode, forward reverse, you need a drag brake. In forward brake reverse mode, nobody will crawl. So let's hope they will do this. I won't think it now. 25 bucks, that's an awesome price. But the Amazon version does come with no plugs, but at least with a servo wire and shrink tube. And the Banggood version without plugs I ordered doesn't even come with a servo wire. That's cents. Please, ISDT, include such a super cheap wire, because I know some people who really had problems to use their ESC because they didn't have such a servo wire at home. That's it for this video. Let's all hope that ISDT will solve those problems. Then this could be an awesome ESC. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. I'll be back.